crazy how it follows you.
I don't think so, because he runs it. Yeah, I think they're only here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
So make sure everybody's outside, and then pull the door. Thank you.
Miss Lois, you good?
Oh, she's in a meeting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lay some concrete down.
You don't get nervous.
Hey guys, Angel's gonna share his experience, strength and hope. So please give him your undivided attention. And I don't have to say any more, right? Thank you, I appreciate all of you.
Many moons ago.
Whatever, dude.
So I grew up, both my parents are immigrants. Both of them had, came in illegally. And it was, it was a little rough upbringing, but my mom had.
Hey, whoever sleep over there,
The best, but
don't have him write you up. No sleeping in here, and ain't no phone.
You'll be like 2 minutes though, so like I'll just keep my head down.
And so, yeah, my mom, she, and my dad, they got married at 18, had me, firstborn. I was made in Mexico, but born in Phoenix, Arizona. And, a year and a half after my brother was born. And everything was how my mom wanted it to be. She had this thing in mind where, she wanted to have that perfect family. And so I had to dress how she wanted, do what she wanted me to do, up until I was 18. So that's why I got kicked out of, that's why I got suspended in first grade, because I was mad. I didn't matter what I did or how I did it, I always seemed to do things wrong. So I just kept going down that path. Got kicked out in first grade, got kicked out in sixth grade for taking a porn magazine to school. Got kicked out in freshman year for, that's when the phones were barely getting internet, and I was showing all the guys porn on the phone. Word spreads like wildfire when you're in high school, and so my mom, every time I got kicked out, my mom would slap me on the way home.
How old were you when you first got kicked out?
Like first grade.
Oh my God.
And so that was like the thing. And so once I got kicked out of high school for not going to class, because out of 120 days, I missed 84 days. I was never in first period, second period. I would show up for the other ones here and there. And yeah, that's when I started. That's when Westgate was being built, and me and my cousin, we would ditch school just to go out there and watch them build it up. We would smoke a blunt. The blunt turned to drinking once, we got into sophomore year. When I get into sophomore year, my little brother, he's the goody two-shoes for my mom. And was always lucky winning prizes, winning this and that. And so I got a little, you felt some type of way. Because I was always a mistake. I was always had eyes on me, pressure. And yeah, he chose a school that we were gonna go to. And at the time we had friends that were going to a charter school. A small school of like 180 students. And my mom was like, you're gonna go wherever your brother goes. That's the school you're gonna go to. So, because if I did, I'd get snitched on. And I mean, once it started there, I kind of like got the role of, doing good, staying good. I started smoking at 16. At that point, I had already begun drinking. It would be every weekend, go out with the friends, or try to go out. And that's when beer parties started coming around. And so the rest of high school was pretty much work. Oh, I got my job at the airport at 17 and a half, pushing wheelchairs. So I pushed wheelchairs for 2 years till I finished high school, and then I got finally let go for missing work, calling off, being late, sleeping behind the gates because I was hungover. And once I left there, I got a job at Chase, and the drinking got worse. And that's when I got introduced to cocaine. Something about, financial institutions with cocaine and drinking. It's a theme. And so, I kept partying, beer pong, drugs, girls, all led me down that rabbit hole. And one summer I met my baby mom. Was with her for a year and a half. We decided to have a baby, had my daughter. 4 months later, she saw that I messaged my cousin that that, hey, tell your friend that we were with at the quinceañera that she's cute or whatever. She saw that message, it was game over. I left the house, continued to spiral, and then decided to move to Wyoming. So I moved to Wyoming trying to escape everything. I had gotten child support on me, because she had taken my daughter away, my baby mama, and so I was like, you know what, screw this, let's go to the courts. We went to the courts. I was still, heavily drinking, heavily using drugs, but still coherent enough to know, or at least, dress nice, when you go to court, be presentable. I had bought a lawyer, or I had a lawyer retainer, and she lost that custody, well, not the custody battle, but she lost the visitation, like she wanted just for me not to see her because I was drinking and doing drugs. And I fought for it, and the judge was like, well, tell us. The judge asked her, oh, what days can I see her? 3 times. She couldn't, she's like, no, I don't want him to. He turns and looks at me and was like, sir, what days would you like to see your daughter? And that's when I was like, ooh, I was not prepared for that. Every weekend, please. And so I dedicated myself to every weekend seeing my daughter. And that's how I, got her back in my life. She was pissed. I know I won that because, ain't nobody keeping me from my daughter. But I realized that it was a good fight that I put up, but I wasn't prepared for it because the drinking kept me away. My mom got to see her, my family got to be with her, but I would pick her up and then disappear. And then when I moved to Wyoming, that's the last time I seen her, and she was maybe 4 months, 4 to 6 months. I didn't see her for 2 years while I was in Wyoming. In Wyoming, I tried perk 30, smoked that once with the plug from there, and I can tell you that's the one time I did it, because the next morning when I had the withdrawals from it, the pain, my eyelids hurt, my teeth hurt, breathing hurt, and I said never again.
What did you try?
Perk 30, smoke. And so that was in 2013. I got back in February of 2013, I got back here. And when I got back here, I would say 5 months later, I was accidentally, I was offered a bump of what I thought was cocaine. I'm like, yeah, sure. But it had a little glow to it. It had like this little glistening to it. At the time, I didn't know that was meth. So I took the bump, and my eye cried. I was up for 2 days, off-roading, anything I could do. I went and I did it. We did it together, me and the people I was with. And I didn't realize that, it made you feel good even though shit starts falling apart. So I smoked. So I found out that you could smoke it, started putting it in a pipe, and I did that for 3 years. I was working with my uncle landscaping from job to job, 10 jobs. And in 2016 is when I found a job at Herbal Wellness. It's a dispensary. And I cold turkey stopped smoking, stopped doing the drugs, threw all that shit away, and dedicated to just smoking weed, selling it legally. And I did that for 2.5 years. And right before I got let go for my attendance, I would say 3 months before I got let go, at a Circle K at 3 o'clock in the morning. On the floor was like a pouch this big, and it was an ounce of meth. Somebody must have dropped it. I picked it up, put it in my pocket, didn't think nothing of it. Stashed it at home, and I got in a fight with the girlfriend I was with at the time, and I was like, man, started cleaning all my shit out, and then I found it. I'm like, I wonder if that's what it is. So yeah, I took a bump. Next thing I know, I'm hooked. Got let go of the dispensary. Went on that's my second relapse. Went on that relapse for 18, 19, 20. After COVID ended, maybe right before COVID ended. Because that's where that relapse is the relapse that landed me in Mexico. That landed me in Chihuahua, Mexico, in rehab out there. My mom and my sister, they tried drugging me, putting clonazepam in my dreams so I could, fall asleep so they could transport my ass to Mexico. But little did they know is I'd take higher doses of that and just, they didn't know how to drug me. So I didn't knock out, so they had to come up with a way to get me out there. And so what ended up happening is my mom called me and said, hey, your sister wants to come down to Mexico, I'll pay your whole expense to come down here, and then we can check out some rehabs. I'm like, sure. Because I was shooting up. At that time, I started shooting up. And I was living in my dad's living room in an apartment. But being the tweaker I was, I put up drapes in the living room. I made my own little duct to the living room. Moved the whole furniture around, made it my personal room. And I I would pick shit up off the side of the road and bring it home just thinking, oh, this is a good find. It was all trash. And they got tired of it. So when my mom told me that, I was like, you know what, fine, I'll go out there. when I seen what I had packed when I got out of rehab, it was just trash that I put in my thing. I thought I took a bunch of clothes. Nah, it was a bunch of shit, just random stuff. Mom was like, mijo, accompany your sister down here. Sure, I'm down. Let's go. Right before leaving, did a 70. Let's go. When I get over there, I start having some withdrawals, which I've never had before. I don't know why or what. My mom thought it was COVID. I got there on a Friday night. Saturday night, I was ill, sleeping, eating, and shit, and you know the withdrawals for the first weeker. Sunday morning, Mom was like, mijo, come on, let's go. We're just gonna be there, check these out. I got 3 that I've already scheduled an appointment for. So you can see them. All right, man, let's go. I remember putting my head on her lap and just hugging her, holding her tight. Not knowing my ass was already a patient at the first rehab. So when I get off and I'm looking, there's a bunch of guys just standing outside. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It's a small house. So I walk in, they start talking to me. They're like, oh yeah, if you want to come check it out, go through this door. I'm like, okay. I'm like, here, Mom, come check it out with me. I'm trying to push my mom before me. She's like, no, it's men's only. I'm like, I guess. So I walk in, I have my coach bag on me, and as soon as I cross that door, I just hear it shut fast, and they grab me from the back of the head and they rush me to the showers. And they're like, this is where you're at, where you'll be, and you have to follow these rules. If you don't, one of 2 things happen. You're either gonna sit in a chair for the rest, sit in a chair, you're gonna either get beat up, or you're gonna follow the rules. So I reached in real quick to my bag. I had a knife and a baton in there, thinking I'm like, I'm gonna beat these. I'm gonna get out of here. Now, as soon as they see my hand going, they're like 12 fuckers come out, and they're like, you throw 1 punch here, 100 will rain on you. Being careful. I'm like, yes sir, I'll take a shower now. And so I cried the first night. I cried. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Why would they do this to me? I'm gonna sue my mom. I'm gonna sue my sister. I'm gonna sue this fucking place. And it took me maybe, because it's an intensive rehab program. You can't move around freely. You have to ask for permission to go to the bathroom. And even at night when you're asleep, 2 people stay up and watch you while you sleep, so make sure nobody kills somebody else or beats up or does some bullshit. And so you are being watched 24/7, and you have to follow this little line for anything and everything. 3 meetings a day, 3 hours each one, where you have to sit perfectly. If you slouch, they have these guards, which are other patients that will come up, punch in the ribs, poke in the ribs, hit you in the back of the head, like sit up straight.
What's that, a detox place?
It's an intensive rehab.
Oh.
It's called an Anexo in Mexico.
Was that it?
Anexo? Anexo, yeah. And so, but in the back of my mind, all I ever thought or was thinking of was, when I get out of here, is it gonna feel the same? Now having this whole program, will I be able to beat this fucking drug? Will I be able to beat the cravings? It took maybe 9 months for me to get into so I finished the program after 90 days in that rehab out there. After 30 days is when I started feeling better. Like, okay, I get this. Once you get used to the schedule, things just seem to fly better. I got a job as a guard. They called me a gringo out there. And I was, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just playing the part. Just, all right, yeah. Anything you need, I'll do. And so after my 90 days, I stayed an additional 90 by choice to get more of the program. But this time, you had a little bit more freedom. You got to get up later. You got to eat whatever you wanted and go out when you got permission to go out. Sort of like here. And so I came back May 2022. By July, I had gone with my girlfriend. By September, I was relapsed. And by February, I was on the streets again, you know, back on my relapse. And I would say, and I always stayed away from the west side because my family lives on the west side. I ended up doing I was scamming people, trying, you know, going through dumpsters, finding IDs, finding whatever I could to make any kind of money that I could find. To the point to where, like, people would take me in, and I slowly take like little things, a screwdriver here, a drill bit here, a fork there, a silver fork here.
Just stealing.
Just stealing.
Yeah.
And then I got sick. I got the job at American Airlines. Got the job there, followed by, and then a week later got the job at Gatorade, which I chose Gatorade for the pay. But it didn't matter, I kept using. And that ultimately kept me from succeeding. I just couldn't get to work on time, didn't care for it, wanted to stay on my bench. And I got the COVID shot because I thought I was gonna go with American Airlines, and they were requiring it. And I got that in June of 2024. By February of 2025, I got sick with pneumonia. They cured that. I was shooting up in the hospital. I had my friends bring me a fucking shot in there, and I was in the bathroom. Like, hey, hit me. The doctors come in and like, why's your heart beating? I don't know. I decided to see my friends. 3 months later, double pneumonia. Got cured from that, or not cured, but got better from that. 2 months later, pneumonia again. And at that time, like, I was just sick and tired. Like, I was already sick and tired of, you know, all of it. And it wasn't until November, you know, I've shown most of you my picture of what I looked like in November of this past year. I was 120 pounds, I hadn't eaten in weeks, I had 2 ulcers on my stomach and my esophagus. And, you know, I was just shooting up to not feel the pain. So, I kept telling friends, hey, take me to the hospital. We'd get there, we'd be like, nah, never mind, no, let's go somewhere else. It's right down the street. Or let's go pick up something, it's right down the street. Until the third or fourth time, is when I finally said, hey bro, make sure I walk in there. Please make sure I walk in there and don't let me come back out after 5 minutes. The last time I went up in there, I did by the grace of God, I swear, because within 30 minutes I was on a blood transfusion, getting 3 bags of blood, on the brink of death. I could barely breathe, I could barely walk, I could barely even see. And you know, it's crazy that that being an IV user, I was always so careful about my rigs. You know, I would hit people. I was the one that people would pay to hit them. And I had my own special little lockbox where I kept all my stuff. And any of my stuff would always go in there. I fucked up, being so fucked up in my active addiction. I must have put somebody else's needle in my box. And while in the hospital, they tell me that I had contracted HIV. And that, you know, I haven't really processed it. It hasn't really hit me because I know it's not a terminal illness anymore. You can live with it, but it hurt though to have always been sexually, you know, aware and careful with it, to have fallen under my own mistake. And that's why, you know, my recovery this time around, it's different. You know, because now my life depends on it. That medication's hella expensive. And I have to rely on it for the rest of my life. And so, like, you know, I was so careful for a long time. And I can pinpoint the day and when it happened, you know, and it was my mistake. I was high. And it's just a simple misunderstanding. Like, I grabbed the wrong one. And so, you know, coming here, being able to process my emotions, being the person I am, striving, kicking, you know, it really, like, puts me on a better path that I am and will be someone anyone can look up to. You know, because I'm not gonna let what's it called, a diagnosis like that stop me. I won't ever allow something or anyone to stop me, because I know what I can do and will do and what I'm capable of. And that's what brings me here. That's my story, guys.
Yeah! Yeah! I'm so proud of you.
Where you going?
You going, you might have questions.
We got, not questions.
Made me cry too.
So great.
Yeah.
So great. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Where you going with that question?
Yeah, we got questions.
Oh, yeah. Questions? Go ahead, Ricardo.
Well, first, I want to commend you for having the courage to say what you said. We're your brothers, bro, and we're here for you, no matter what. You know what I mean? That doesn't change anything. It doesn't. Nobody's gonna look at you differently. No, nothing. We love you, bro. And I'll say that shit from my heart. I won't speak on anybody else, but for me. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Antoine?
She said that. You know I'm always messing with you, man, but you had a good story, you know. You gotta keep pushing, man, and stay with it.
Yes.
Right everywhere it's at.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and, where was you going when you was in school? Man? I always,
Can't hear you.
I always like to ask people that, like when they did school, like where was you going when you did in high school? Everything.
First
So,
grade.
I started at Independence High School. I was there for the first year and a half, or no, first 8 months. I didn't finish the year, they kicked me out. I finished off at Pure Accelerated. Sophomore year, I went to James Sandoval Preparatory High School on 67th Avenue Indian School behind Element Church. I went there for 2 years. Junior year, I went to Life Skills. And then to finish off, I graduated from Glendale High School. So, but, you know, back in the day, it was a lot easier to ditch than it is now, you know.
Yeah, but I never understood why people like my kids did. I used to ditch, but it was like to go back.
School wasn't for me. I didn't like school. I mean, school was boring because I would pass the test, but I hated the homework. I hated homework. Homework I can't do for. When they tell me you got homework, I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna do it. I already know I'm not gonna do it, but I understand what you're talking about.
You didn't like girls? That's why I started. I went to high school, it was for sports.
Well, you man, let me tell you. Let me tell you. It wasn't hard. It was, man, you get girls from other high schools that, you know, not what
They
they.
was in school too, most of them.
You just pick one or two and you're the man. bad influence and be like, hey, come on. We got a car, you know, so freshman year, we got a car. Let's go. And then Westgate was getting built, so it was a good scenic, you know, little relaxed spot. It wasn't as heated as it is now. But, yeah, I barely finished high school, man, and I just got my transcripts from there so I can go apply at International Union's apprenticeship program for heavy machinery equipment. And you know, I got my pass to go next Friday to Casa Grande. So I'm even striving to do that because, you know, I'm a forklift operator by heart, or any type of driving. You know, I was when I did my trips up to Vegas to go pick up marijuana when it was illegal, and I don't know what else, because I drove the plug up there. I didn't know I was the fault car at the time, because I always drove behind all the other cars. And they're like, hey, if a cop tries to pull one of us over, we gotta stop him. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do GTA right now. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know what I was even doing. All I know is I was getting paid $500 per trip.
Yeah.
And I was getting the free stay at a penthouse at the Rio, you know. So I'm like, yes, adventures. But I didn't know it was that severe. Now that I look back, I'm like, ooh, could have been looking at a lot of time. Thank God God was always with me. But yeah, any other questions? Yes.
I just want to say congratulations, bro.
Yeah.
God put you in place for a certain reason. Yeah. It happened to you.
I'm being able to help a lot of people.
Yeah, and the way I see it too, if I didn't learn with the pneumonia that he, you know, with the pneumonia that he was kind of giving me a warning shot right there.
Yeah.
Pneumonia. Okay, you're not gonna listen? He got me good for the rest of my life, you know? And that was my mistake, but I gotta learn from it and take it with stride, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
it's a just consequence to my behaviors for not listening the first time. So now I act on him whenever he calls.
Right. Yeah.
Any other questions, Doctor?
Beautiful story.
But you know, he put you in a predicament so you can get the health care you needed. So that you'll know what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that way you can help other people.
Yeah, I mean, because when I was in Mexico, I speak Spanish, but it's different out there. It's fast. And
Right.
It's big words and some words and they're slang. So it took me 30 days to understand what the hell, how the hell to read.
Yeah.
That taking this course here or doing this program now, I fully understand what's being said.
Yes.
How I can, you know, because in my mind, I think in English. You know, even though English is my second language.
Right.
Oh, say.
Oh.
Did you get scared for a minute?
But you know, so many people when we're in our addiction.
Who are we looking for? No.
Kenneth,
He's not here.
he just left out.
Yeah, we do. He said he's coming back.
He came and gave me this.
Yeah, medical.
No, he,
I'm here until the next 2 weeks and then I'm out, guys. 2 weeks? Yes, sir.
So guys, make sure, especially you newer guys, make sure you get Angel's number. I'm always talking to you guys about how important it is to have that really good support system. And you never know when you're gonna need to text somebody and need somebody who's gonna have your back. So make sure you do that. Oh my gosh, that was a huge, amazing story. Heartfelt.
Great.
I don't think so, but let's wait till Miss Lois comes back, because I don't know if she wants me to start on the test first, or if we're gonna go ahead and go at the top of the hour.
Did Johnson? I hope it was recording.
It did. I watched it.
Dude, that was a fucking badass.
You gotta do mine when I